Eventually, the girls get tired and decide to take a break so they can eat something. Our lazy protagonist emerges from his coffin eager to eat something, but they only have bread. Dot would much rather eat some boiled tofu, so Annette decides that they should look for some in a nearby town. The group is only a few days away from reaching Tama's hometown, but Annette would like them to make a stop at a temple. Normally, another worlder arrives at one of the four temples in this world, and they head directly for the Dark Lord's castle. However, Dazai's goal isn't to defeat the Dark Lord because he just wants to find Satan. This means that they have to visit the four temples to gather information on where Sachin is. Tama is shocked because this means that if they have a hard time finding her, then they will have to travel all around the world. Annette doesn't even want Dazai to fight the Dark Lord because it's too dangerous, and Tama once again teases her for being in love with him. Annette denies it and explains that Dazai just gave her hope when she had given up on her job. Tama points out that Sachin might be Da's soulmate, so Annette admits to traveling with him to find this out. Tama agrees to go with them until they reach her hometown, but Annette's half-hearted thank you makes Tama realize that Annette would rather be alone with Da. Annette ditched her job, so Tama wonders if she will even be allowed into the temple. Annette isn't worried, though, because the head priestess of this next temple is a dear friend of hers. Besides that, Annette didn't just leave her post without notice. She sent her letter of resignation using her familiar. This familiar makes its first appearance, but it does so by snacking on Da's head. Annette scolds the little monster, but she gets even more upset when she finds out that it didn't deliver her letter of resignation. Duke points out that the little beast is pretty loyal for returning to its master, and he names it Milos. Milo seems to have taken a liking to him, but Duke just wants to get more rest. Just then, Da must tell Milo to quiet down as he begins to panic, and a terrifying dragon appears. Dragons are this world's most powerful monsters, and it terrifies the girls with a scream. Just then, a girl calls it Yuka and tells it to stop. Annette and Tama are confused as the girl approaches the dragon, so they tell her to be careful. They are shocked, though, when this girl speaks a different language to the dragon and tames it. The girl assumes that Annette and Thomas' group has already suffered casualties because of the coffin, and she recommends that they leave this area that is incredibly dangerous. Da emerges from his coffin as he assumes that it's time to eat, and the girls ask the stranger to forgive his rude behavior because he's an otherworlder. Hearing this infuriates the girl, though, and she vows to eliminate all otherworlders. She unleashes a power that terrifies the girls, and her attack must be blocked by Annette's barrier. Annette does her best to hold back the attack, but her shield is eventually broken. Our group is badly injured as the girls' attack did massive damage to the area, and Annette concedes that the girls' magic is insanely powerful. The girls vow to protect Da at all costs, but the stranger brings them to their knees with her power. The stranger's symbol terrifies Annette even more because it's the symbol of the wrathful Dark Lord. Just then, the girls are shocked when Da stands, as he has had enough of all the dangerous behavior. He points out that the girls have nothing to do with this. Da reminds the girl that she's after otherworlders and he is her only opponent. He tells her to do as she pleases and reveals that he's prepared for his life to end at any time. His friends beg him to stop, but it's too late as the stranger grants his wish and she sends her arm right through his chest. The girls are terrified as Da collapses to the ground, and the stranger reveals that her name is Wild Delia. Annette and Tama faint, but Wild Delia is shocked when Da reveals that he's still alive. He can tell that Wild Delia has a lot of hatred inside of her, and Da says that he can relate. Da has lost his mind to intense hatred before as well. Wild Delia is terrified to see him still alive as he approaches her. Annette says that her eyes look very sad. Da would like to know why, but Wild Delia's terror causes her to flee with her dragon. She is still uneasy about what just happened and she wonders just who Da is. A while later, we see that Milos has brought our trio to the temple they were going to. The priestess rushes to Annette, but Annette tells her that Da needs immediate medical attention. He's in really bad shape. So, the priestess summons every priest to bring every healing potion they have. A while later, we see that Da is fine as he shops for some poison. The vendor explains that the poison is most effective when thrown at a monster, but he is shocked when Da just drinks it. Tama is furious because he just made a miraculous recovery, but the priestesses are glad to see that he's doing well. The priestess named Nisha explains that she hasn't met anyone named Sachin, but she is more concerned about why Annette is traveling with an otherworlder. She's glad that Annette quit her job because she's too pure for it, but she's upset to see that she's traveling with an otherworlder. Yesa hates otherworlders because they take their gifts they were given by the gods for selfish reasons. Just then, some strange rapping otherworlder named Kataro tells the girls to stop arguing and have some fun with him. They ignore him, but Kataro demonstrates his overpowered skill of mass production. It allows him to produce an unlimited amount of the world's currency, so he offers to buy the girls whatever they want. Yes, it gets rid of the guy, but he promises to make them pay. And Isha points out that all otherworlders are like that guy. Annette explains that Da is different, but Yessa can tell just by looking at him that he's just as destructive as the others. Annette still argues for him and points out that he changed her entire life. Just then, Da asks for money to buy some drugs. Annette casually gives it to him, but still tries to tell Yessa that he isn't destructive at all. Yessa is then shocked to learn that Da doesn't have a gift. Despite that, Da still fought against the wrathful Dark Lord for his friends. Yessa is stunned to hear this, though, because the wrathful Dark Lord was actually destroyed by another Otherworlder 7 days ago. Yessa is just as shocked to hear this news, and the two girls celebrate because it means that peace has finally come to their world. This, however, makes them question who that girl with the dragon was. It's also strange that Da arrived 7 days ago, but Annette can only think about how that was the day Da completely changed her life. The biggest question is if this world no longer has a Dark Lord, then why was Da brought here in the first place? Just then, the girls are startled as Da tears up a bunch of papers. Da dramatically explains that he was trying to write about the events that have happened after being brought to this world. He was struggling to write, though, so he is now despairing over it. Annette eagerly waits to hear what he wrote about them meeting for the first time, but her heart is shattered when Da reveals that he didn't write about her at all. Da isn't sure why, but his meeting with Weary gave him a surge of creativity, and he hopes that something else that excites him will occur. Annette thinks he might find something if he explores the town, and recent events have made her want to buy Da some stuff anyway. In town, we find that what she wanted to buy Da is some heavy-duty armor. There is no telling when they will be attacked again, and Annette never wants to see Da suffering ever again. Tama points out that Da looks like he's suffering right now, but Da actually kind of likes the oppressive feeling that the armor gives him. The girls go to do more shopping, and Annette tells Da to stay there. Yessa finds him, and Da explains that he was just searching for new excitement. Yessa declares that Annette will be staying with her from now on because she has always been a pure girl, and it makes her trust people too easily. Yessa is sure that Annette will be unhappy traveling with him, so she begs Da to break up his party. Da just smirks, though, and points out that it's up to Annette to decide what she wants to do. He declares that Yessa has no say in the matter, and he wonders why she thinks Annette will be unhappy anyway. Yessa explains that it's because Da is an otherworlder and she doesn't trust otherworlders. Just then, Yessa is stunned and a crowd forms as some guy arrives. This man is said to have been created by the heavens to stand above everyone in the world. He is an otherworlder, and his name is Lord Suzuki. Suzuki announces to everyone that the Dark Lord was defeated 7 days ago, and he tells them to rejoice as peace has come to their world. The crowd erupts with cheer, and they all praise the other worlders. But Suzuki reveals his real intentions. He points out that they risked their lives to bring them peace, so it's only right that the other worlders be allowed to rule the world. Because of this, he declares that this time will be known as the Great Hero Age. Suzuki has decided to be the ruler of this town, and his buddy Kataro tells the townspeople to bow down to Suzuki. Just then, Kataro points to the girls and tells Suzuki that they were the ones that messed with them. Suzuki is furious and declares that they committed acts of violence to another worlder. Annette tries to explain that he is mistaken, but Suzuki refuses to listen to someone who would bring harm to a hero. Nearby, we see that the town is on fire, and Da states that he finally felt like he could write his masterpiece.